Greetings, welcome to the Prime Directive. I'm your host, Jeffico, and my co-host is always Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
Sean will also be joining us today. Say hi, Sean.
Hello.
Well, we're going to finally be discussing the Discovery pilot. So, Sean, what did you think about the visuals? I thought seeing the whole star and the binary system was really awesome.
Yeah, I love the effects. The lighting, I know it's kind of stylized for a Star Trek show, but yeah, I thought it was great visually. I like the music. Yeah, I love the whole tone of the show.
Yeah, it still had a lot of the JJ influence for some of these things, but thankfully it didn't feel like a JJ movie.
Yeah, it wasn't over the top. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, they definitely borrowed a bit from that aesthetic, but
course.
I think they do seem to be going with their own thing. The bridge is definitely not the like Apple Store sort of iTunes bridge. It's darker. It's more metal. It's keeping. It's keeping some of like the military kind of submarine style from Enterprise.
Mm.
Oh, and like Nicholas Meyer's the consultant on this, and he was the one that brought that into Wrath of Khan and number 6
absolutely.
there. And then they went really casual in 3 and 4. Like, yeah, just wear your kung fu robes, Spock, because nobody cares.
Yeah, it's all good.
So we get introduced to our captain, first officer on that desert planet. It looked pretty sweet. They were there for a purpose, which was nice.
Yeah. Some people might criticize that as not being in keeping with our modern interpretation of the Prime Directive or General Order 1. But that's what they were doing is totally in line with what Kirk did back in his era, which is the era we're in.
What Prime Directive era?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Cowboy Directive, where we just beam down to the planet and start giving them guns because the Klingons did it first.
Yeah, I thought the crab species looked pretty sweet, but I would like to see more of them.
I think they serve their purpose, but
Yeah, my biggest issue with that scene, I think, it would have been nice to have a captain's log at the start. I know we did get a first officer's log right after that, but I thought it was kind of odd and clunky how Burnham and Georgiou, a lot of their dialogue was just telling each other things that they should obviously already know if they're on this mission.
Yeah, 7 years together. You trust me? Yeah. You trust me? Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, there's this meteor that broke apart and, ruined this planet's water. Yes, I know. I'm right here.
I just beamed down to away missions, not asking what they're about.
Yeah.
I missed the briefings all the time.
Yeah, I slept in.
it's a pilot. That's what they do. They have to explain a little bit of who they are and what they're doing and how they know each other. And you can't do that in a captain's log.
Well, maybe not how they know each other, but they could have at least captain's log.
For 7 years,
we're on this planet.
we've been doing this.
Well, no, captain's log, we're on this planet, and this is why. Like, they should have done that.
I didn't like the footprints in the sand. I thought that was just for the shot, just to look cool. Wind would have blown them away. And when the wind got bad, her goggles weren't on. What was the point of the goggles?
Yeah. That the delta in the sand thing was definitely just there for the cool shot, but it was a really cool shot, so I'll allow it.
It was worth it.
All right.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of the opening credits? I mean, I thought visually it looked interesting, but it wasn't our classic ship flying through space.
Mm-hmm. The visuals were interesting. I'm getting the sense that this is actually going to be changing season to season, because there was a lot of stuff in there that I felt was kind of specific to season 1. There were like particular Klingons and particular people, and I think as the arcs progress that we're going to be getting different visuals.
Possibly. I hope we get a different theme, because frankly the theme did nothing for me. It was just like, let's steal a little bit from the original, let's end with a little bit of classic Trek 2. In the middle it was kind of sounding like Westworld with building towards something, but I'm like, it wasn't that powerful. I thought the theme that we were reportedly thought was the theme was way better.
Yeah, I did think it was a little difficult to sort of dig a melody out of the middle there. It was just sort of background noise for the visuals.
I kind of like the ending credits, even though they're virtually the same as the opening ones, a little bit more. But, I mean, again, this is going to grow on you or it won't, but it was kind of ho-hum.
It doesn't take you out of it like Enterprise.
Yes.
We got to meet a lot of the characters. Were there any that really stood out to you guys? Like, obviously, Saru.
Yeah, well, I don't think a lot of these people are going to be sticking around, are they?
No, it looks like in the trailer that even the other Helms officer played by Emily Coots, she's lost half her head. It's like shaven and she's got like this metal implant there. but same actress.
Okay. I thought, I only thought we were keeping Saru and Burnham.
I think a lot of them are gonna still be there. I think Nambui. I think everybody that escaped through the thing. I think some of them are gonna be there.
Okay. They all just coincidentally end up on the Discovery?
Hey, it's Lorca's ship. He does what he wants.
My ship.
Yeah.
Lorca gets what Lorca wants.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed Saru, and like, you know, his fear was pretty entertaining. We should just leave.
No, I really liked him. I love the idea of a prey species as a character, and I just sort of think it's interesting to have sort of an anti-Worf character on the bridge, where instead of his first instinct to everything to be attack, it's, you know, my first instinct is run away.
Because I thought based on like the preview or whatever, like I sensed death coming. He was gonna be like a badass or something.
Yeah.
And then now it's like the complete opposite. So that was really interesting. I found.
Oh, I never thought he was going to be a badass, but I thought, I thought he'd actually be able to sense death coming, but he's just, you know, predicting his own fear.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It seems like he did sense death coming quite successfully, but no one listens to the guy. Maybe he's been sort of like the Kelpian who cried wolf for the past 7 years. And he's like, no, guys, I'm really serious this time.
Today, death is coming.
Yeah.
Like today.
You're a valuable asset, but you are dangerous.
We did get to see a lot of the bridge crew. I liked Ensign Connor. Sadly, no Ensign Connor.
We hardly knew you.
We lost that one.
Should do an in memoriam.
Yeah, and then you said there was a robot in there?
Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. We make so much noise in TNG about Data being such a unique life form. He's the first android in Starfleet, and he's just supposed to be this incredibly unique bit of engineering that we can't figure out and replicate. And then we do have what seems to be at least mostly a robot on the bridge of the Shenzhou there.
She's there, she's like a robot, but they actually showed us a picture of somebody else that they're calling a robot, and it's more of a humanoid face.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's on the Discovery.
Yeah, like, I don't know, is one of these just a particularly advanced Siri, or are we just completely ignoring the whole Data is unique thing?
Are these just helmets that people can wear?
Yeah. Is this person just really a fan of Daft Punk?
Full immersion.
Yeah.
You know, stellar photography.
Yeah, VR.
Yeah, turn that music down. Tell me what's on sensors.
Mm-hmm.
Around the world. So, Chris, you a big fan of Michelle Yeoh?
Yeah, I thought she did really well in the first episode there.
Yeah, I thought she really stood out as the pinnacle of Starfleet officer.
Mm-hmm.
And she had her own little thing. Like, she took on Burnham, and it's just like, I'm going to teach you to be more human and be a Starfleet officer.
Yep. They made a pretty big point of showing her as being, like you said, sort of the ideal Starfleet captain. She's got her Starfleet does not fire first thing. And she was talking about how she got charge of Burnham because she was a human who chose hope, which is, again, a very Starfleet thing. We're very noble, we're very Picard. And we saw how that turned out for her.
Yeah, I hope we get to see her again somehow. IMDb has her listed for the rest of the series, but unless it's flashbacks, I don't know. But
yeah, flashbacks are one option, and I'm not entirely convinced that she's actually dead. We didn't get a whole lot of closure from that.
Well, it was an instant. I can't beam her over because I have no life signs.
That's true, but we've seen people get resuscitated. It could happen.
Yeah, at least she'll come back as a half Klingon.
I still think a Klingon would have killed her. Like, just saying. Come on.
Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Oh yeah. If she dies, but come on. Like, Klingons been trained their whole life to fight like that.
Okay, if Kirk can 1v1 Khan, like the superhuman, super strength.
That's what I'm saying. This is an ongoing thing with this show.
Yeah. Then Michelle Yeoh can fight a Klingon.
I can't see Michelle Yeoh losing a fight. She knows way too much martial arts.
No.
That counteracts strength, John.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
And Takuba was pretty slow in his talking, so I imagine he was slow in his fighting too.
But he's like Kalis.
And those bat lefts, they can be used against you, as we did learn.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is a thing.
That was a really lame death.
That was
Torchbearer.
Yeah, Torchbearer. Check out my cool armor, my cool face mask. Damn it, my own mother.
Stab myself again.
I'm really hoping we see more of that Torchbearer armor, like with the new Torchbearer. because they were really showing off that armor before the show
To
came
me,
out.
it's like Captain Phasma, though, in Force Awakens.
Ooh, yeah.
You have this really cool thing, but now I'm not going to be intimidated by it because you made it look like a wuss.
Yeah, like, geez, this completely different subject now, but they went and got goddamn Brienne of Tarth and then just...
Hey, you can't dirty that outfit, okay? It looks amazing. You can't be like getting her into firefights and stuff. You gotta clean that shit up.
It's shiny.
Yeah.
I did like, House of No One sticking his hand in the fire. I saw it coming, though. It was very predictable.
Yeah. Still very Klingon.
I think that was my one of my big problems with the Klingons was a lot of it to me was very predictable, and then the fact that like T'Kuvma is like saying it's predictable is even worse.
You say predictable, and I really liked everything the Klingons were saying and doing. I thought it all rang very true to Klingon, as we know them, Klingon culture and Klingon motivations, and everything they were doing felt believable.
And I love the changes they made too. Personally, I know people might not agree, but I like the fact that they spoke in Klingon the whole time. I didn't mind all the subtitles. I like the fact that just the beautiful armor they had in the ship and everything. Like, why do the Klingons have to have like drab? Like they're a warrior race. They're proud of who they are. They think they would have decorations and stuff that would represent that or whatever.
Are
So
they
I like
a warrior race though? Because there was that one guy who's just like, you delayed my voyage, which I assume was a vacation to Ryza or something. But
These Klingons go to Ryza.
yeah, hey, it's fun for everyone. No, I thought we didn't get introduced to enough of them because I didn't really know any of the other ones, but I know them through all the research that I've done. So like, I saw Cole, I knew who Cole was, but I didn't get any concept of his character.
Yeah, Cole was the red X on his face, right?
I think it's downwards, but you can call it an X. But no, I think Cole's going to be the best. I think he's going to be a badass. But he's supposed to. There's supposed to be some female ones that are pretty big. Mary Shalif plays one.
Was she in the pilot there?
I think
that was
she's
her.
more friends
like a
with
second.
Cole than she is T'Kuvma. So I mean, we didn't really get a sense of who these other Klingons are.
Yeah.
And that's what I was looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing that I'd mentioned before in a previous video that I think showed up, especially with T'Kuvma here, is I really felt like that actor was just overburdened by all the makeup on his face. Like, he couldn't be as expressive as I would have liked.
I think the only thing he could move was his mouth.
Yeah,
It's just like,
we weren't
much.
getting a lot of expression from out of this. Like, nothing in this area.
But again, like, I thought they were menacing. Like, it wasn't just like a human with ridges on his face. This was like they looked alien, they acted menacing. I thought it was great. But yeah, maybe they can't move.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason so many sci-fi shows do makeup like that, is because you need to have your actors able to emote.
No, definitely more legitimate than what we've had in the past. But do you think subtitles were too much for some people?
I was fine with it. I thought, again, the tone was perfect.
I think if you're trying to draw people in, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I like it as like a, I'm really into Star Trek and I'm a big Trekkie, and having them actually speak Klingon, even though I have no idea how Klingon works, so maybe I'm not that big of a Trekkie. I thought it was cool. Like, they're committing to the universe. They're not just having them speak English. They're, we Klingon as a language, it works, and they're actually committing to it.
I think they really pushed it because of Dothraki from Game of Thrones. They're just like, hey, they've got their language, they've done it, it's successful.
But they had to undo all the, Klingons are our friends for most of Next Gen and Deep Space Nine. They had to undo all of that, and I think they did a good job with
Not really
making them talk Dothraki. Come on, everybody loves Worf.
Gowron's insane.
Hey, he was great.
He's
until
great,
until he
insane.
lost his mind.
Martok's a bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
One-eyed bro.
Even Changeling
Cyclops
Martok was a bro.
Yeah.
You all fell for it. So, Chris, you kind of noticed some parallels between a couple of the characters. Why don't you go into that?
Yeah, while we were talking about the Klingons, I thought we had some really interesting story point comparisons between our albino Klingon, Vok? Was that what we were calling him? Vok and Burnham. So, to start off with, both of them are outcasts among their own people. Burnham is, of course, this mix of human and Vulcan, and probably doesn't fit in too well among either of them. And then our Klingon is, of course, an outcast because he's an albino, and apparently we don't like that. Both of them, of course, have mentors that they really look up to. Vok is following T'Kuvma. He's totally into the cause there, as he demonstrates, holding his hand over the fire. and Burnham spent 7 years learning from Captain Georgiou. Both of their mentors offer them a step up in their respective society. We see Takuvma offer Vok the position of torchbearer, and then, of course, right in the opening scene, we have Georgiou offering Burnham her own captaincy, even. And then, of course, at the very end, both of their mentors are killed. So there's this sort of interesting mirroring between both of these characters' journeys. And of course, one of them's, on the up in their society, and one of them's on the down. But as far as broad strokes go, I'm going to be really interested to see how both their character arcs compare from here on out.
Yeah, maybe if Sonequa listened more to what Vok did and actually followed his leader.
Yeah.
Might not be in the same situation she is now.
Maybe not.
But that being said, I love Burnham. I thought she was great. The actress, Sonequa Martain Green, did I say it right? She's fantastic. I got that she was kind of part Vulcan, part human, just from her opening dialogue.
One of your relays are down. Oh, must have happened naturally. Fuck, let's be idiots. Well, Sean, I mostly have a problem with her decision making and a lot of the things she said that were contradictory.
Okay, so you have a problem with the script, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And the direction of the show.
I've got no problem with the actress herself.
Okay.
I just think when she says, I'm not letting emotions rule my decision, but I need to save you.
Right.
Like, that's an emotional decision.
Hey, she's had her emotions balled up since she was a child. Now it's like traumatic releasing them all because the Klingons are coming
I think
back.
her panic of we need to fire, and then I'll tell you something rationally why we should fire, because, oh, hey, the Vulcans, they fired after the first or second confrontation and it worked for them. None of her decisions were a logical Starfleet officer. So even if she wasn't trained by the Vulcans and didn't express logic and thoughts for all her decisions, she's a terrible Starfleet officer at this point.
I will say, committing mutiny in the first episode is up there.
It was just...
I'll give you that.
It was
Are
too
you guys,
soon to do that.
Are you going to defend that she's a good Starfleet officer? Because, yeah, Sean just pointed out, mutiny, first episode.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a bit much.
Yeah.
I really wish we'd had more time somehow, or we'd spent more time establishing that she is a good Starfleet officer, and she has been for 7 years, and she has had really good control of her emotions for 7 years.
Right.
And they keep hammering home 7 years, but they're not showing anything.
They kind of did when she came on board. She's very logical, no emotion. So she slowly turned into more
they sort of showed how she'd grown out of her shell a little bit with that.
Right.
But I really wanted to have more scenes of her being a good officer and more scenes of her having control, so that when the Klingons show up, which are this huge trauma for her, her losing control sort of means more, and it's more of a, this is not what she's usually like, which is what they wanted to do, I assume. But instead it was the first episode, and now this is like the only thing we've seen her
crazy.
be like. Yeah,
she's a
we've
crazy
only
person.
seen her be crazy.
Burnham is viewed by many as the cause of our conflict. This does nothing for morale.
My ship, my way.
Well, this is why I wanted the book to come out first, so that I could actually learn about these characters and be a bit more invested before the show starts, and then be like, okay, fine, yeah, her reactions are okay, because right now they're not. But even like, it looks like all of Canada, or at least our area in the Lower Mainland here, did not get a single book from the Discovery, which was supposed to come out today.
Yeah.
So I'll get it on Friday, and I'll try to power through it, and then I can tell you a bit about it.
Yeah. Like, I think to like, a lot of people have a problem with the mutiny, and honestly I do too. That's a pretty legitimate complaint. But can you imagine if we'd started Deep Space Nine with, like, in the pale moonlight or something, and in the first episode we see this captain just blow up this guy's ship and, screw the Federation rules, I'm gonna bring in these people into this war, and I can live with it, whatever. We'd have been like, this guy is insane, worst captain ever.
We had an agreement!
I'm making a new agreement. If that program passes inspection, you walk free. But if there is even the slightest flaw, then I will send you back to that Klingon prison and tell Galran to take his time while he executes you.
You can't start with that. Like,
Unless
a build-up.
Unless it's Lorca.
Yeah.
Then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, because if we'd gotten some more backstory and establishment on Burnham, then it would have come up a lot better than it did.
Yeah, just like, you've been with this captain for 7 years, you trust her, she's taught you so much, but like you don't listen to her instincts at all.
Yeah, well, in this like one particular thing, but again, we've only seen this one particular thing, and we're just being told about all the other times she didn't.
I think about what happened all the time. And I'm hurt. But there's hope.
So, I mean, we should probably discuss some of the ships. I thought the Klingon ships looked pretty unique, a little different. The more I saw it, the less of a bird of prey I saw.
Yeah.
Sadly. Hey, that's a design to come later.
Yeah, we don't really... Yeah, the Klingon ships of this era don't necessarily have to look like bird of
One
prey.
thing about the Klingon War, and I mean, we saw a bit of this in a little Axonar thing, was they kept developing new ships during the war.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're bound to see some. I did like how they put the dead sarcophaguses on the hull.
Yeah, the sarcophagus ship was metal.
Yeah.
Like, that was really cool.
Yeah, the Black Fleet. That sounds pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think of the Shenzhou? I'm already missing it.
Yeah, that was a really good looking ship. I like the little deflector on the front, little purple. I think we've talked about already how we like the design for that one.
Yeah, the colors. I really enjoyed how they explained the transporter. How it's an old style thing, something that uses up too much power. It's really cool because the Federation trying different technologies, not just here's your basic thing, and everybody's like, why is it different? Well, of course they're going to try different things. They're not just going to end up with the final result there.
Yep.
I like how they're not limited by the technology of the previous shows. They had like the holographic communication thing. I mean, I really like that. I mean, they're not going to not do that. So,
yeah, there's going to be a lot of sort of updates because it's current year, and we're going to need to change the look a bit if we want a general audience to take this seriously. And I don't mind things like the holocom so much because it doesn't actually change what they're able to do in universe. Like, there's nothing a holocom allows them to do that a screen transmission doesn't. It just looks more modern and it looks more interesting.
Here's this like little girl who's just been traumatized, and it's just like, hey, it'd be really cool if we work like some of her like traumatization into the lesson, and then see if she can still react as fast. I was surprised she didn't.
Yeah, geez, why are you having emotions?
I did really enjoy James Frain as Sarek. I thought he did a really good job of it. But I mean, we're getting a little bit of contradictory with some of the Federation Star Trek lore of like he hated Spock in Star Trek V. He's like, oh, he's so human. Well, you're raising a human now, and you seem to be affectionate towards her, and also he didn't like Spock in Starfleet, and hey, you should go into Starfleet.
Well, it's just like...
She's a human, so she should go to Starfleet.
He's probably looking down on her, saying like, oh, you're just a human. My son, though,
maybe,
so human.
Maybe all the other Vulcans are just like, no, we don't want her on our deep space, like, science exploration ship.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, I got a better plan for you.
He clearly likes emotional creatures.
What did you think about the mind meld through space?
I feel like if that was a thing Vulcans could do reliably, we probably should have seen it somewhere else. That sounds useful. There is some precedent for long-range Vulcan telepathy. I think there's an episode in the original series, the name escapes me, but Spock senses a disturbance in the Force when that whole ship of Vulcans gets destroyed light years and light years away. And I believe in Enterprise there was also some long-distance communication through dreams between Trip and T'Pol.
Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah.
I thought the physical cost he was getting might be what leads him to the Bendai syndrome, his little neurological disorder.
Yeah, that Picard has to help him with.
You have anger in your voice.
It would be illogical for a Vulcan to show anger. It'd be illogical.
They're kind of, matching up a little war there.
Could be,
could nice.
They should work that in there if they haven't thought of that already.
Yeah, I hope you're watching Star Trek.
When they started that scene, I was expecting them to go in the direction of this is just what remained of Sarek from their mind meld, because we know that it does lore-wise leave a really big impression of that person on you.
Right.
But then it was, no, I'm actually communicating with you over these huge distances.
Yeah, I instantly thought John Crichton and having Scorpio in his head.
Yeah.
I mean, like, every time Crichton was screwed, Scorpio showed up, and he found a way to fight out of this terrible situation.
Yeah.
So near the end of this episode, we get those admirals sitting in the dark, or, just a jury, whatever they were. Like, That was kind of odd.
Yeah, what was up with that?
Where's the light switch?
Yeah.
That's, I mean, I get what they're trying to show, what they're trying to imply about the scene and the emotional state, but what the hell in the Federation looks like that?
Sorry, the lighting's not working, but we're going to continue on with this.
Yeah, like, is this the Section 31 court, or...
But isn't the bridge the same thing? I mean, how would they find anything? It's a good thing the buttons light up.
Well,
I mean,
but the bridge wasn't that dark.
I would trip over the stairs if there were any. I mean,
These were just super menacing.
It's a very
faces.
stylized show. It's a very stylized show.
I thought her little speech of she dreams to further the objectives of the Noble Federation was kind of wrong, because I mean, like 90% of her actions in this was against the Noble Federation.
Yeah, but again, I just feel like it's a mistake to show us the one episode where she's doing everything bad, and then just tell us that she's been doing everything right for 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, on balance, her character is supposedly a really good Starfleet officer, but that's not what we're being shown.
Well, I'm hoping, with that trailer we got at the end, which I thought was like one of the best parts, because it makes the series look really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Lorca wants some of the best minds, and he goes to her.
Yeah, you just like that trailer because it's got your boyfriend in it.
Yeah, Lorca's pretty awesome.
No.
Does what he wants. She can't be on the ship. The crew doesn't like her. Hey, it's my ship.
Yeah.
Do what I want.
Yeah. Although, just one more thing to the point of the creepy shadow trial. We should point out that this is the era of the Federation that is willing to execute you for going to Telos 4. So maybe that is just what they're doing.
Chris, what are your final thoughts?
Overall, I think there was more about this than I liked than I didn't like. What we seem to have gotten here is more of a prologue to the rest of the show than an honest-to-goodness pilot. So I'm going to want to give it, I think, about 3 more episodes before I'm too comfortable talking about how I feel about the series as a whole.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed that. Sean, you?
Totally agree about the prologue thing, absolutely, but I really liked it. I thought the acting was great. Yeah, maybe the script, a bit of the story was a bit questionable at points, but I really, really liked what they did with the Klingons. I liked the direction they seemed to be going with it, and yeah, I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, I like the fact that they started with the Klingon War, but even the space battles to me were a little underwhelming, because you didn't like get a sense of anybody on other ships. Some of the sound effects bothered me. It sounded more like pew pew rather than like. And I thought a lot of the cinematography, like it was either JJ or a little bit of it was like Battlestar Galactica. I sensed a lot of it, and that's not an insult because Battlestar Galactica was an amazing show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, a lot of people were complaining about how every scene on the Shenzhou seemed to had to be shot at an angle. Like they couldn't keep the camera level.
Lens flare.
I mean, if you ever watched Farscape, I mean, it's a motion camera constantly, which gave it a different feel, and it's what some of these series need. But no, the budget's insane. I thought everything looked really good. I'm gonna miss Connor and Yeoh. I do hope we get to see her more. And I thought overall it was pretty entertaining. But like Chris said, I want to see 2 or 3 more episodes before I can really see what this is going to be.
Absolutely. But they threw out the rule book too. Like they committed mutiny, they killed the captain, like it seems like they can do whatever they want, so it should be interesting going forward.
I really liked how when Burnham shot to Kuvma, the phaser was blue to begin with, and then she changed it to kill, and the little light on top changed to red, and the actual beam she shot him with was red instead of blue because it had been blue before. So they have blue for stun and red for kill.
Yeah.
Wow, that is new.
I did like that because, like, had she kept it blue, she would have achieved her objective.
Yeah,
yes,
and she has not been doing that this whole thing.
That was really dumb.
Drop the ball, big time.
So I was just like, well, at least it's consistent with her character.
Yeah.
You know, when you guys first came over, I thought we were going to gang up on me for disliking a lot of this, but I think I've really turned you all around on her character in this first pilot episode.
Oh, no, there were definite flaws. There's solid flaws.
All right, Sean, well, we did that big pilot review of all the other ones, so where would you rank this one?
I really liked it. I'll put it number 1.
All right, so Sean Cleary wants to work for you, CBS.
Hire me.
I would also like to work for Star Trek, but I'm not going to kiss your ass like that. Chris, do you have a ranking for this?
I have no standards.
I thought it was pretty good. I think I want a little more distance from it before I put a hard number to it, though.
All right, well, I'm putting it at 4. That is my solid number, behind Voyager and Next Generation, though I do feel they actually showed us their characters and what their series was going to be more like. But definitely no. TOS DS9 Enterprise before that, baby.
All right.
Well, thanks for watching. That's our review of the pilot. I believe me and Chris are going to be doing some of the solo episodes, doing reviews on that. Sean, if you're available, you can tag along. Otherwise, we'll do a mid-season review too.
Sounds great.